What is an immediate turn-off on a first date? I went on a date with a guy I met online. He was very attractive and seemed nice. We went to a restaurant and he ordered a steak. When it came, he cut into it and said it was overcooked. He called the waiter over and told him it was overcooked. The waiter apologized and took it back to the kitchen. A few minutes later, the waiter brought out a new steak. The guy cut into it and said it was still overcooked. He called the waiter over again and told him it was still overcooked. The waiter apologized again and took it back to the kitchen. A few minutes later, the waiter brought out a third steak. The guy cut into it and said it was still overcooked. He called the waiter over again and told him it was still overcooked. The waiter apologized again and took it back to the kitchen. At this point, I was getting embarrassed. The guy was being really rude to the waiter, and I could tell the waiter was getting frustrated. A few minutes later, the waiter brought out a fourth steak. The guy cut into it and said it was finally cooked to his liking. He then proceeded to eat the entire steak in about 2 minutes. After he finished, he called the waiter over and told him that the steak was actually overcooked and that he wanted a refund. The waiter apologized and said he couldn't give him a refund because he had eaten the entire steak. The guy then started yelling at the waiter and demanded to speak to the manager. The manager came over and the guy started yelling at him too. The manager ended up giving him a refund just to get him to leave. After we left the restaurant, the guy asked me if I wanted to go back to his place. I told him no and that I didn't want to see him again.